I am really into Gothic lettering. You probably saw my previous video where I make this journal spread in the style of medieval manuscripts. I had such a fun time creating this one, and I will definitely be doing it again. But since then, I've been playing with ways to incorporate Gothic lettering and medieval themes in my journal in different ways. I love bringing styles of the past into the present and creating a combination of the two, making something not quite traditional but not quite modern. That in-between is the space where I love to play. So in this video, I'll be showing you a few different ways that I have brought medieval style and Gothic lettering into modern journaling, and perhaps this will spark some inspiration for you or give you ideas on how you can do the same. I'll be doing this in chronological order to show you my improvements along the way, and you can also see how my style has progressed in my journal. So let's take it back to April 27th and 28th. If you don't feel confident in your Gothic lettering skills to do a full spread, starting small is an option. Here I just did 2 single Gothic letters as my initials or drop caps for the paragraphs. This wasn't done with a stub nib, but rather a fine nib, as I wasn't comfortable yet with a stub nib. But I kept practicing with a stub nib and eventually felt confident enough to do a full word, which let me show you what a stub nib is first. So if you don't know what I mean by stub, it is a type of nib that is flat across the top. It creates really thick lines, but I was used to normal nibs. So these two compared to each other, they're much different. And I wasn't yet comfortable with this thickness, and so I wrote these with a fine nib. And actually, I did it on this entry as well, just did the initials or the drop caps. So let's jump forward a couple weeks. And even here you can see I was doing this style, but only with the sticker. But let's jump to this entry. So when I gathered the confidence a couple weeks later, the next thing I did was this title. I don't love how this turned out. It's too blobby and it's not as sharp as I wanted it, but it was a baby step, going from this to this. I also did this with a dip pen and not a fountain pen, and I find dip pens harder to control the ink flow. Although that's a me issue, as I'm not really great with dip pens and I much prefer fountain pens. But anyway, 4 days later, I did my first entry entirely in Gothic lettering. It took a few days to muster up the courage to make that leap from title to full entry. And in this one, I did use a fountain pen with a stub nib. I used a smaller stub, thinking it would be less scary though. I don't know why, but smaller letters seemed less intimidating to me, or maybe easier to control. I like how it turned out, and at this point I was getting comfortable with the stub nib. And this is a 1.1mm stub, so on the smaller side of stubs. But after this one, I knew the next step would be a journal entry inspired by a real manuscript. And so cut to 2 days later, when you see me make this one. But before I talk about this one, you might be wondering how I got the confidence, and the answer is practice. I would just write and make marks and motions until I familiarized myself with them. Like for example, here are some practice sheets. Just making marks over and over, trying to get the angles right. Random. Practicing. Practice. Yeah, just lots of random practicing. So writing over and over again and familiarizing yourself is a great way to learn how to write in a certain way. And I did this on cheap paper too, so that's why you see lots of feathering in these. I also took a course on Domestica, and I also read a couple books, which I'll show you the books that I picked up. These two are excellent if you're looking to practice the style of lettering. So yeah, to get from this stage to this stage, reading books, taking an online course, and lots of practicing. And I'll drop a link to a free resource I found in the video description, so if you're looking to learn, you can click that link and it'll show you exactly how to make these letters. I came across the blog post when I was looking for a specific type of Gothic lettering, and I think it's well done and a great place to start. But anyway, this spread was fully committing to the style, and not just one page, but the whole spread. You saw the process for this one already, so I won't speak too much on it, but with this one I fully embraced the medieval style. I hand drew all of it, using motifs and designs that were inspired by real manuscripts. It turned out better than I thought, honestly. I went into this thinking it would be one of those spreads that I mess up and just move on from. But I really love how it turned out, and I think doing this spread gave me the confidence to go for Gothic lettering freely in all my subsequent entries. I don't feel that resistance or struggle when I use Gothic lettering now, and I don't feel scared I'll mess it up. It's become muscle memory at this point, and I think this spread here was a turning point. And the next spread. Okay, I will say that I don't do it 100% properly, so I'm not one to give a tutorial on how to do it because even I don't do it by the book. But anyway, this entry I used my thickest stub nib fountain pen. This is a 2.3mm stub, while the previous spread used a 1.9mm stub, and this one doesn't have a specific number attached, but I want to say it's probably close to a 1mm. So this one is definitely chunkier. But in this one, I wanted to combine modern stickers with this lettering on the left side. And on the right side, I did use a tapestry from the medieval time period, so this side is more traditional looking. I also played with the layout a bit more in this entry too. I wanted to see what a more horizontal text block would look like compared to a vertical one. And this next spread, I combined hand-drawn elements and Gothic lettering with modern stickers. This one feels a lot more modern. It's not my favorite, but I don't hate it. I do think I did much better with the 1.1mm stub in this entry than the one I did a week prior. So this is the 1.1mm stub nib, and this is the same exact pen. So comparing the two, my letters are getting much better here. And on this side, I used a traditional initial with more modern stickers again. There's something funny to me about this one, especially combining these cute star stickers and this main sticker here. It's like if a teenage girl in medieval times had access to a Hobonichi Cousin stickers and music videos, this would be her entry. That combination of modern content with an old look just is kind of funny to me. Next spread leans more traditional again. I printed stickers that look like they could be from olden times, but they are vintage images, though I'm not sure when they were made. I got all of the art I used from Century Library. I did manipulate the images, like I changed the colors of these to match, and that way the whole thing would be more cohesive together. I didn't have a whole lot to say on these days, so using my larger size nibs, especially this one, it let me fill out the page much quicker. These motifs are definitely more traditional. You can see this little dragon animal shape here that's often found in manuscripts. And this next spread was an attempt to combine Gothic lettering with modern writing. As much as I'm obsessed with Gothic lettering, I don't want to neglect all of my fountain pens with other nib sizes. I've been using only stubs recently for these entries, so I played with what it looks like to combine my normal cursive and Gothic lettering on this side, and then on this right side I did it with block print letters. I do like how it turned out, and this gave me ideas for combining different lettering styles on a page. I think there's a balance that needs to exist in order for them to coexist though. Like the left page here feels much better than the right side because the contrast is greater. Like this lettering is much smaller than this, so it gives this more room to shine. If they're too close in size, I think they start visually competing with one another and it becomes too busy. I think this might be just a smidge too big. You don't know which paragraph to look at first, but I still like the way it looks though. So what I learned from doing this entry stuck with me, and it's a nugget of knowledge I use in an entry a few days later. This one I didn't have a whole lot of time to journal, so it's something I put together quickly. I also got a few new LAMY 1.9mm stubs, and I put one on a different LAMY fountain pen of mine, the rose gold one, and I inked it with an ink that I'm not sure I love in this style. The beginning part here was an accidental mix of ink that I had in the feed of the pen still, but by the bottom it got way too light and it was writing very dry too. So I'll probably replace the ink that's in the pen that I used here. And while I do love the ink, I don't love it with this nib. Next spread, I focused on stickers and initials. This spread was another set of days when I didn't have a whole lot to say, so I let the stickers carry the journal spread basically. Although this day I did get these two new fountain pens. I wanted to test them in the journal, and so that's what this is here. This is the Penlux Kodachi needlepoint, and this is the Sailor Pro Gear Slim, the Kimono Longevity. I got these in the Atlas EXP sale, and I wasn't planning for them, but I saw them in the sale when I was participating, and I just couldn't pass them up. And I couldn't pass up getting a Kodachi nib. I'm very happy that I got these two pens. But yeah, anyway, that's a separate topic from this video. Oh, and this is also another new pen, or I should say old pen with new nib. When I got the 1.9mm stubs from LAMY, I put that on this pen, a green one, and now I have a green stub available to write with. And the last entry I'll show in the video is combining my usual sticker style with just a hint of Gothic lettering. I did the initials and sort of this title over here, and also I did it on the sticker too. So when I mentioned contrast a few entries ago and learning how to combine lettering, this is where I utilized that info. This body text had to be smaller in order to not compete with this Gothic lettering. And I made this initial absolutely massive to provide contrast again to the Gothic lettering. So I created a hierarchy of information in this entry with contrast, both in size and in color. If you've watched my how to do lettering video, you'll recognize exactly the types of contrasts I used. And here I did cursive and then very fine print. So there's a lot of ways that you can combine Gothic lettering in your journal entries without having to fully commit to the style. Although fully committing to the style is very fun to do. So that's all. Hopefully this was interesting to you. I think the next step is learning a new style of Gothic lettering, or maybe just a new style of lettering in general. Maybe uncial next. I'm wanting to explore more types of old writing and calligraphy. I really suck at round and curvy letters though, and I just don't have a steady hand for that, but I think it's worth challenging myself to do it. When I first saw Gothic lettering, I didn't think I'd be able to achieve it, as I've historically had really terrible handwriting despite being a designer. Lettering and designing are two separate skills though, and I went in the design route in my career, but now I'm working my way back to lettering. All that to say, this is definitely an achievable skill. I think it took me a couple months of practice, so if you're interested in learning how to do it, I totally recommend it. As I mentioned earlier, I'll drop a free resource in the video description. And thank you for watching as always.